So if you've spent any amount of time on Quest 3 subreddits, you've probably seen a post or two about clear faceplate mods. There's not that many of them, but every time one of these posts goes up, there's always comments full of people asking how to do it, where to get the parts, how hard it is, and all that kind of stuff. I get a lot of questions and comments about it too, and it does look pretty cool. There's just something about transparent tech that just hits a little different. I think if you grew up in the 90s or the early 2000s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Clear Gameboys, transparent Nintendo 64s, see-through iMacs. It was literally everywhere for like a decade, and a lot of people still really like it. And somebody actually did send me a Quest 3 a while back that had this mod already done to it. I did a short video on it and of course had lots of questions about it. And the mod itself actually doesn't look that complicated. You just really need a transparent Quest 3 shell and a few tools. I've never done this to a headset before personally. I've just kind of seen it done after the project was completed. So today we're going to find out what it actually takes to do it and whether or not it's worth it. Alrighty guys, welcome back to Fix My Oculus, the channel where we fix, repair, tear down, and talk about all things VR. And if you're new here, do consider liking and subscribing for more VR related content like this. Now with today's video, the problem is I can't really do this on a customer's headset. So I brought one of my headsets from the house, because if I'm going to mess it up, I would rather mess up my headset. Like I said, I've never done this before. I did watch the video that is on Reddit about it. There's a couple steps in that video that may not be entirely necessary just for the sake of getting the job done, so I may not do it exactly the way that that video does it. But as you can see, this is our clear shell that we're working with. I actually did buy a couple different shells for this project, but this one seems like it's going to give me the best result. It's a really glossy, transparent plastic, and there's a little bit more wiggle room on the underside here, which is going to help us flipping it down and getting this on later on. This is not sponsored at all, but I will drop a link for this in case you guys want to check this out yourself. And then in the video that I saw, there were lights added to the Quest 3 as well, which I thought was pretty cool. So I bought myself a little battery powered LED kit. I did go ahead and assemble this ahead of time. I'm not really sure exactly where it's going to fit inside of the headset, so we'll have to figure that out when we get there. Okay, first things first, we do have to take off our silicone face shield. I always just use my metal pry tool for this job. Just kind of undo those clips that go around the eyes. And then we kind of get in here, just kind of pop these clips. Bridge of the nose, I usually have to use the pry tool. And then top of the forehead, I usually have to use the pry tool. And then right under here, there's one more clip and I'll just pop that and that whole thing comes out. My desk is already filling up with so much stuff. Then we really just got to take out the screws that hold in the faceplate. There are 7 screws that hold in this faceplate. And one of the funny things about this mod is that there won't be really any after we're done. There's just going to be one screw holding in the entire faceplate. At least that looks like what everybody else has done when it comes to this mod. So hopefully there's no security issues. And then we got a bunch of cables that run under here, so we'll pop the bottom first, and then our clips up at the top. And we're in. This giant retaining bracket with the Bluetooth antenna on it is kind of the next thing to come out, because it just kind of holds down all of the camera connection cables. Then our little Bluetooth antenna can come out and we can start popping these camera cable connectors. I do have to say, I'm not really considering this a tutorial because I don't really know what's going to happen. So if you're sitting there going, oh, why hasn't he covered all the parts and tools that I'm going to need? It's because I don't know yet. And this is really where all the work is going to happen. In order for us to get this part of the faceplate out, which we need to sit inside of here, just this portion of the housing, we are going to have to cut all this out. And we don't really want to risk damaging all these cables. So that means all the cables have to come out. There's a ton of little screws that hold all these brackets in, but it's nothing too crazy. They're all just Phillips screws. The camera array on the right is kind of self-contained. So if I'm gonna do this, I probably wanna take that one out first because it just comes out all by itself. The depth sensor cable here is a little different because the receiver portion is just kind of glued in. So I'm gonna warm it up real quick and then we're gonna have to pry it out of there. Gotcha. Only 7 more screws to go. And then this one's got adhesive on it too, so we're just gonna warm that up too. All right, and now we have to start cutting. The person who made the video that I watched did save this tape. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm not gonna worry about it. Feel like it's an issue later on, then I'll just get some thermal tape and add it in. There's probably a bunch of different ways that you could cut through this plastic. I'm gonna use a Dremel and a cutting wheel, and that should go through this like hot butter. I'm gonna move some of this stuff out of the way here. I almost forgot my safety glasses. Don't forget your safety glasses. Port Quest 3. That's looking pretty good. All right. I think I need to clean up a little bit. And this is kind of what we're left with. But I think I'm going to go through here and I'm just going to sand out some of the rough edges, and hopefully it looks a little bit prettier when I'm done with it. I think that's probably about as good as I'm going to get it, or maybe just as good as I care to get it. You probably spend a long time doing this, but I think for my purposes, this is going to be good enough. I did get some dust trapped in the windows here, so I think I'm just going to pop those out. A little bit more annoying than I thought it would be because the adhesive from the glass is catching that dust. You guys at home probably don't have the luxury of just being able to swap out these glass panels, so maybe tape for dust and learn from my mistake here. I mean, I could probably just add some more adhesive, but it's a big pain, so I'm not going to. Just gonna throw some new glass on there. Cool. That's looking pretty good. That's progress. So now that we've got this the way that we want it, we can just go ahead and start reinstalling our sensors. Start screwing down these cameras. And then in the other video that I saw there, they left a lot more material, I think, for these brackets to hold on to on the edge here. I didn't leave that much material. I'm going for maximum visibility here. So we're just gonna screw in the things that we can screw in and forget the rest, because it probably doesn't matter that much anyway. I think 2 screws is gonna be more than enough to hold this in place. And this one gets 4 screws to hold it in place, so it should be really secure even without that 5th screw. Before we get any further along, I do want to test this and make sure that this is going to work. And good news, we work. So I didn't break anything yet. Okay, I'm back. I had to take a little break because I've been at this for a little while now. So there are a couple things here. I kind of wanted to do the lights. I've got this cool little light switcher thing, but I don't really have room for it. There's space right here between the fan and the depth sensor, but this Bluetooth antenna needs to kind of go here and hold these cables down. And it's just going to give some additional support to this bracket that is in here now. So I don't know exactly where I'm going to tuck that battery compartment at. I could just electrical tape some of these LEDs to this coin battery, and that would save me a lot of space, but I really like the idea of being able to turn them off and on if I want to. So I don't know. I thought about separating these brackets away from this plastic housing. I've never done that before, but it's definitely doable. And then that would create some space for that little battery. But I don't really want to commit to that, because I do think that this is going to give me some extra support on this now very flimsy front camera array. So I think we'll go ahead and get this Bluetooth antenna screwed back in place, at least for now. So that way these cables are just super secure. It is kind of nice to get these little screws in here without having to worry about all the rest of the faceplate that's usually in the way. And we can tuck that cable in there. And I think this is probably the part of the video where my version of this is going to be different than the original poster's version of it. I'm going to go ahead and screw this part of the front plate in and secure it. In the original Reddit post where someone did this, they took this portion of what was left of the front plate and kind of glued it to the transparent shell. But I do not think that it's totally necessary, and I'll tell you why. I don't feel like gluing this to this housing makes this any more secure than it already is. It's only really held in by one screw regardless, because the other 6 screws that would hold it in, we've trimmed all of that fat away. And I did have somebody send me one of these. I don't know if it was the original one that was on Reddit or if it was just somebody who did the same thing. But the challenge for me is that if this does get damaged, if there's an issue with it, gluing this to this whole front assembly makes it really hard to open, because the cables for the depth sensor and the cameras are held down by these brackets. You can't just leverage this whole thing forward. You have to work in like that much space, even worse than just the normal front plate. I'm not really worried about positioning because that screw is lined up and it's lined up with where it needs to sit here on the Bluetooth bracket. So really the clear shell is just kind of acting like a dust cover. And that is debatable because there's lots of ventilation around here for heat dispersion anyway. And this clear shell is a pretty snug fit. It doesn't really want to come off. You really kind of have to go through the extra effort of taking it off, but you'd probably be better off just adding a layer of double stick tape either here or maybe around here if you were really worried about it. That way the headset stays kind of repairable. If you really wanted to, you could add a screw or something, but I think this is fine. I think this is kind of cool, and this is going to keep it repairable in case I want to get in there and change out the battery or swap out the fan or whatever. And then, you know, if I want to add some lights in here, and I don't really have a good way to turn them on and off because my battery compartment that I bought and my switch don't work the way that I thought that they were going to, then that's going to be a little easier to manage as well, because you can just take this off and do whatever you need to. I think I am going to try to find a better solution for the lights. As much as I like the idea of doing this today, this particular switch and coin battery compartment are just not as small as I thought they were going to be, and I'm really going to have to, I guess, get the calipers out and measure a spot like right here or maybe over here someplace and try to figure out what size battery I can actually put in there and what size switch I could actually kind of like create a hole for, either on the bezel or maybe on the front plate. So I think really the only thing left for me to do here is put on my silicone face shield, because I don't really have to worry about any of these screws. They're superfluous now. There's no screw holes for them anymore. This just really clips in if you've never done this before. Just gotta make sure that everything's flush and clicks in. And then we get to test it one more time just to make sure that I didn't mess anything up. That's a good sign. And I think we're working. All in all, really not that tough of a mod, just kind of messy. I think there probably are some other things that I'd like to do here, aside from trying to get some lights in there. Maybe doing this part in black, or maybe this bracket in black would be kind of fun and make them a little less visible. The bezel's kind of hard just because there's so many components that go into it. I thought about cutting out this portion of the bezel because there's just Wi-Fi antennas here and I could just move those, but I think I will save that for another video. Honestly, I think that there's probably a lot of cool things that we could do here, so maybe this is a series. But I am curious to know what you guys think. Are there other things that you think we could do here? Other mods that I maybe don't know about? Or do you think that I should have done something differently? Maybe you don't like the fact that I didn't secure this and I just left it here. And maybe you're right, I don't know yet. I guess we'll find out. But I'm really happy with this. I like the way that it turned out, and I like the way that it looks, and it finally matches my controllers, which I'm really excited about. As always, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like and subscribe for more VR related content like this. And if you ever need help with your headset or controller repair, you can always reach out to us on fixmyoculus.com. But I think that's really all I've got for you guys today. I'm gonna go play VR on my cool new transparent headset now. So we'll see you on the next one.